You got to find out what makes your brand magnetic or loved. And when you find out what that is, you got to do everything you can to make sure people understand it and that you're delivering it every single time.
How are you going to do that given the volume of business that you have?
We spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to cost save our way to a very efficient drink and not enough time on what is the experience that Starbucks provides. And we use some technology to sequence those orders. Our partners, those are the green apron baristas that you see in our stores, can be very successful at creating in-store drinks and food in roughly 4 minutes or less.
You think you're just ordering coffee, but you might be drinking the sugar equivalent of 2 cans of soda in 1 cup. That venti white chocolate mocha you call a treat, it can have over 70 grams of sugar before you even add your custom syrup pumps. We're breaking down how those tiny add-ons quietly turn your light order into a chemical sweetener cocktail, and why the biggest danger isn't just what's in your cup, but what you don't see on the label. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Let's start with a number that doesn't taste as sweet as it sounds. A venti white chocolate mocha with whipped cream carries about 75 grams of sugar. That's more than 2 cans of Coca-Cola. Most people walk into Starbucks thinking they're ordering coffee, but they're walking out with a liquid dessert that just happens to have caffeine in it.
As fast-growing chains like Dutch Bros and 7 Brew prioritize their to-go business, and many independent coffee shops cater to dine-in customers, Starbucks is trying to do both.
Why are shorter wait times so important for turning around Starbucks?
You physically can't get there in 3 minutes. And so we're mismatching when the customer wants it and when we should be making it. And the number one request actually is, let me pick what time I can come pick up my beverage. Customers are finding, oh wow, I have more time to enjoy my beverage in store, and more people are selecting to get it in a ceramic mug now, and then just take a moment in our stores, which that's the experience we want.
The truth is, the menu doesn't make it obvious. You see a line of drinks that sound wholesome, oat milk here, sugar-free syrup there, but the hidden math is what flips the script. Take a so-called skinny latte. You swap in non-fat milk, skip the whipped cream, and then ask for extra pumps of vanilla because, hey, it's still coffee, right? Except each extra pump quietly stacks another wall of sugar behind the counter. Those syrups are made with high fructose corn syrup and artificial coloring, what one source called essentially liquid candy. So even if it looks like a lighter choice, it's closer to a milkshake than a morning pick-me-up. The sugar isn't just sweet, it's strategic. That syrup base triggers your taste buds, giving you a brief rush and then a dull, hungry lull that brings you right back to the counter for another fix. Employees have admitted that skinny or light syrups create a false sense of control while doubling hidden sugars once customers start adding pumps to replace the flavor they think they've lost. Seasonal drinks push this even further. The pumpkin spice latte, for example, relies on a syrup that's mostly corn syrup and artificial pumpkin flavoring.
Korea Jeans exited Vietnam entirely in 2017, after 10 years in the market. While Starbucks has grown since it entered Vietnam in 2013, the number of Starbucks per capita is low compared to neighboring markets.
Local chains understand the customer much better than international chains, and hence they are more responsive to adopting change when customer preference evolve or shift.
In general, Vietnamese consumers spend about 2.5 times more money at Western outlets than they do at Asian outlets. Its high-profile brand may have been what set Starbucks apart from some of its other international competitors.
Barely any real pumpkin shows up. Once you line up the numbers, it becomes clear a special treat can outsugar several sodas. It's not the espresso that's doing the damage, it's the syrup science behind it. And that brings us to what those flavor names are actually hiding. What if that hazelnut or caramel flavor you love is less about roasted nuts or melted sugar and more about chemistry? Starbucks sells its flavors as crafted and premium, but under federal labeling rules, that phrase natural flavor can cover a compound that started as something natural, then spent the rest of its life in a lab. A food scientist once called the brand's natural vanilla flavoring about as natural as a plastic Christmas tree. technically related to nature, but made by design. The company's marketing invites you to think of slow-dripped caramel and hand-scooped vanilla, yet the actual syrups are industrial blends made for consistency and shelf life. A caramel macchiato, for instance, isn't melted sugar and milk. It's a syrup with over 20 ingredients, including preservatives that keep it stable for weeks and thickeners that fake mouthfeel. The term natural on that label doesn't mean fresh. It means the flavor molecule came from a plant or fruit once, then got heavily reconstructed. Additives like carrageenan and potassium sorbate keep those syrups smooth and safe for storage, even at room temperature. They also allow one batch to taste exactly like the last, no matter where you buy it. Former staff have described ingredient sheets for these syrups that read more like classroom experiments than kitchen recipes. The advantage for the company is control. Each cup tastes predictably sweet because Flavor Labs fine-tune formulas to survive dairy, oat, or almond milk without curdling. That chemical precision also creates side effects. Some people notice the taste shifts between milk types, while others feel off after certain flavored drinks. Even the mixing process can introduce wildcards. Shared pumps and rinsed blenders lead to cross-contamination, so one drink borrows traces from another.
I'll give you a great example. I got a story the other day. An individual decided to buy food somewhere else, walked into our store, sat down as if they were going to eat lunch in our store, which, that's fine.
And dealing with this being just
being like not respectful and not respecting others that are customers or not respecting the partner that's trying to run a really good shop. Our partner handled it correctly. It was like, hey, look, you're more than welcome to have lunch here, but you do need to buy something. If not, you're going to have to eat that somewhere else. It's not fair to our partners to be running a store where right across the street is another coffee house that doesn't have to deal with it. I think this is just a practical, common sense approach where we're in the business first and foremost to serve our customers. And we got to do it in a way where our partners feel safe, they feel confident, and that they believe they can provide that experience.
The real kicker is that natural syrups often hide multiple stabilizers and preservatives, giving you a reliable flavor with none of the authenticity. And that leads straight into how you can protect both your health and your wallet by ordering smarter next time. The real problem isn't the sugar. It's the story the menu tells you. Words like light, skinny, or natural sound safe when they're really a marketing trick. That myth of a guilt-free latte keeps you spending more and sensing less control. A former barista said customers ordering a skinny drink often added 3 pumps of vanilla syrup, unknowingly adding 45 grams of sugar. You don't need to quit coffee, just stop letting the label run your health. Ask for less syrup, real milk, or plain coffee instead. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets.